This one's literally just named after the peppers in it.
That's quality then.
They don't fuck around.
Yes, what would that hot sauce be good on? My balls when I need to be punished.
Well, okay now. So, yeah. So, stay smoky.
Want to ring the bell?
I'm taking it back. I'm taking them all back.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
I'm a loner, Daddy. Rebel. I am the walrus.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to John Hates Movies, the movie review podcast where we keep saying our own name, John Hates Movies, just so you John Hates Movies don't forget that what you're watching is John Hates Movies.
John Hates Movies!
You gotta go over the top.
This week, we have with us Eric Largent.
Tally ho.
We have James Barrup.
Yeah, for me, it's all about the truck. This is I really need a truck.
And in the hot seat, returning, we have Chris Arsenault.
If you want it, you gotta take it.
That's right. And I am your host, Jonathan Barrup, and this week, boy, do we have a treat for you.
Yes.
It is Sylvester Stallone in Over the Top.
Yeah. It's kind of shocking to me, like, maybe people don't have strong opinions about this movie, but I do.
That's not surprising to me, Eric. Let's go ahead and go down with the breakdown here. A long-haul trucker, Lincoln Hawk, must win top prize in an arm wrestling contest in order to reunite with his estranged son. Starring Sylvester Stallone, Robert Loggia, Susan Blakely, and it was directed by Menahem Golan.
Yep.
That's a
All right.
dope-ass name.
Yeah, Menahem.
He is Israeli.
So, as is John Hates Movies tradition, the person who picked the movie gets to go first, and I can't remember who picked this,
Chris.
So it was Chris.
I can't imagine who picked this. I don't know.
Chris, why don't you tell us a little bit about why you chose Over the Top and what it means to you?
I chose Over the Top because The Running Man wasn't on Netflix anymore.
Yep.
That is my review. No, okay, Over the Top. This is certainly not the first time I've seen this movie. This is the first time in probably 15 or so years I've seen this movie. I remember it being rather over the top. I got it out of the way so none of you can use it.
All right.
It's incredibly run-of-the-mill Stallone movie. It's one of those, he always a lot of his movies, he tries to like push this like really real sense of heart. It's not an action movie. It has, it has the arm wrestling, which is, I guess the most action part of it. But like, I love how like everything is about arm wrestling, like to get his son to like prove to himself that he's strong enough. He makes him arm wrestle a kid, another kid, a kid bigger than him, and he whoops his ass because he goes over the top.
Right.
It's just, I gotta admit, it is kind of nice the Sly movies where like, yeah, he has pushes the passion and the heart, and but this movie is just, I mean, you feel bad for him because he's obviously not in his kid's life, and he's trying to be, and the mom's dying, so the mom's trying to push the whole, I want you to be in his life, so when I'm gone, he has something. And it's obvious Stallone desperately wants that. The kid totally doesn't, and that's obviously the plot of the movie.
Right.
And then you have the grandfather being a huge, like, douchebag the whole time, like literally trying to kidnap his grandson back, which is kind of fucked up, but like
he just sent like some goons to straight up kidnap his grandson.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like you were starting to wonder if like he was actually a villain in an 80s movie, like the proper villain who like, will kill whoever. But as is always, it doesn't matter how big you are or how muscly you are or how hairy you are, you can't win against Stallone.
No.
Except the first Clever Lang fight, because he totally lost that.
Well, or what about Apollo Creed beat him?
Yep.
Yeah.
Technically.
I mean, technically.
and Donuts beat him in Copland.
You have a 6-pack, you have a 6-pack.
Long story short, I don't know if it was supposed to be an inspirational movie. It certainly wasn't. It was I want to make more fun of this movie, but honestly, I'm just struggling to remember the movie well enough to talk about it. Because apparently, even after immediately watching it, it was just like, all right, I'm done with it. From literally the first arm wrestling he does, his secret move. It's pretty much leveraging the thumb, which just seems like really fucking cheap as shit.
Chris, what was his secret move called?
Over the top.
Which is also what they call the final round of the...
Yeah.
I mean...
Apparently. But but even when I think I'm gonna lose. I think I really tore my arm up that time. No, Stallone, you can't lose. You're the main character in this movie. I'm sorry, but you don't lose. You are imbued with superhuman strength to come to some sort of victory that doesn't make any sense, except that you have to make the other guy laughably almost abusive. At the end they're like, let's make people hate this guy, so when he claims victory, you'll want him to win all the more. Like, okay, I just don't give a shit. But at least he's got a new truck.
Yeah, it's got a new truck.
So Stallone got a truck. That's cool.
Yep.
And he put the hawk
all
on
around.
Yep. Sun and hawk. Don't watch this movie.
Chris,
I don't want to say it's a bad movie, because it's not a terrible movie. It's just, it's incredibly dated. It doesn't, there are better, more heartwarming movies. I don't know if they're technically better, more heartwarming truckery arm wrestling movies. It's probably the most heartwarming trucker arm wrestling movie there is.
It's a small genre.
Right. It's kind of in a genre of its own, but it wins. So don't watch this movie.
Chris, allow me to counterpoint that.
By all means.
Because, listeners, if you listened last week, you know that this movie is personal for me. I wrote some notes, but they're not funny notes, they're just notes. And the first... and P.S., of course I had 60 ounces of beer, an episode of Cheers, and a gin and tonic in me by the time I started this movie last night, so my heart was in the right place to watch this movie.
Feelings.
So the very first, and P.S. I barely even remember writing these notes, because that's just, I guess, how I do things sometimes.
Yeah, Spack Shackers.
The very first note I wrote is, I'm really bummed that it's too late to call my dad. It was 12 at night when I started this movie, and it was too late to call my dad. Next note is Christopherson, Kurt Russell, and Stallone. I'm happy that our podcast shows truckers in such a positive light.
That's right.
The next thing I wrote is Stallone is all about the USA, you guys. The USA and abs.
Yep.
Was there some kind of did he have an American flag on something or
just
something?
The whole opening of this movie was all about USA.
Yeah.
It was
like a
Mountain's
Barbasol ad.
Majesty. Yeah. Mountain's Majesty. It was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Close
There was
shave
somebody
America.
eating an American flag in every scene during the opening of this movie.
Yeah. Yeah, it was beautiful, and it was all about the USA. The next note was Stallone's clothes are too cheap for the fancy school. That doesn't hit home at all. As the poorest kid at a private school growing up, I never felt underdressed, ever. Yeah. Stallone's tie was a clip-on, and he just pulls it off.
That was great.
I'm done with this fucking clip-on tie. Fuck this.
I'm a trucker, goddammit.
The next note is, this movie is so fucking good, you guys. Chris is just shaking his head, but fuck you. Okay, next note. This really is some heavy-handed shit, but I don't care. Like that was when he was in like the diner with his son, and the son was like, "Listen, Dad, I don't need anything from you. I'm an independent young man, and you're wrong, and I'm right, like just leave me alone because I don't need it." And Stallone was just being, perfect dad, I guess, perfect absentee new dad. It's okay, son. We're gonna make this work. Oh yeah, and immediately after that, some dude is like, "Hey, I've heard of you, Hawk. We are like, you're a good arm wrestler. We need to arm wrestle right now." So Stallone's like, "All right, let's make it happen." And they go over and they set up the table, and they're over there waiting for Stallone to show up. And the next note is Satan face from Stallone. Because Stallone walking over to the arm wrestling table, he got fucking crazy eyes, went Satan face, and like there was nothing in the world that was gonna make his arm go down. Like he was gonna fucking go over the top and slam anything that came in front of him, whether it be like a tractor, a steel beam, or a competitor in the arm wrestling arena. Like that was like nothing was stopping him from winning that and showing his son that you can do whatever you want when you can go over the top.
There's no mullet too long.
Right. Oh, the next note just says exercise montage. When they sleep the night in the truck. And P.S. Yeah, me and my dad have definitely, like, when we're on road trips for like we went on like a fishing trip up to the UP one time, and it was like super late, so we just pulled over on the side of the road and fell asleep in the car. Yeah, that's real shit. That happens.
Yeah, but like, I mean, your seat's reclined, right?
I guess, yeah.
Okay.
You know what? I never got the chance to ride with my dad in the rig, but
I would imagine he would actually have a cab, unlike the truck in the movie.
Yeah. No, my dad
sleeper.
My dad never had a sleeper.
Oh, really?
Because he was always he would drive to work, get in the truck, do his route, and then drive home.
Okay.
So like he
wasn't a long haul trucker.
Right, no, he was a local trucker. Oh. Exercise montage. The next note is me and my dad used to do this too, but our version was he'd get in the car and I'd push his ass up and down the street till it started. Yeah, I mean, if you listen to the Karate Kid episode, you know that my dad woke me up in the middle of the night and made me start his car. That was fun. The next note is Stallone's patience for this kid is godlike.
Oh,
like
God.
Like
yeah.
it's never ending and it's like perfect. I don't know. It like obviously, all right, breaking it open, this movie is really cheesy and heavy-handed, and like Stallone was never going to snap at the kid because he was the goodest good guy that had just like been in a bad situation earlier in his life and was kind of trying to make things right, and he was never going to do anything wrong in this movie. Like that just wasn't going to happen.
Right.
Oh boy. The next note is my dad taught me to drive stick out at the baseball field south of Perry in a Volvo hatchback. That was pretty cool. So yeah, like Stallone teaching his kid to drive stick in a truck, like that was awesome. I don't know. I liked that scene. But ultimately there are no scenes in this movie that I didn't love. Sorry guys, the next note is this is the best fucking movie I've ever seen. It's just, him teaching his son how to drive a stick and a whole lot of love going on, and it's just beautiful and great. Oh boy. Okay. So the next note is, guys, I'm definitely not crying right now. Well, I definitely wasn't.
Sure. I buy it.
Oh shit. Okay, so the next note is after the goons eventually kidnap the kid and they've got him holed up back at the millionaire compound, and Stallone's trying to get in, and he like breaks down the door and like comes in for his son. Like that's some beautiful shit. I loved it. But the note is, guys, one time my dad drove his truck home 50 miles with no brakes.
Wow.
He knows exactly what it's like when you have to break through some gates. So like one time, and it was not on his rig, it was on like his truck. and he had to drive home from work. And the brakes went out, and he knew it, but he was like, well, it's the middle of the night, and there's nothing I can do. I just need to get home. So, like, when you're driving a stick shift, you can, like, downshift.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, the engine back pressure will, like, slow your car down. But he couldn't actually stop. So he had to, like, mount the curb a bunch of times and, like, kind of go over some grass and make some turns when people were in front of him. Yeah, that's some...
That's some stuff, man.
Yes.
That's terrifying.
Next note is... bringing back something James already mentioned. I love Stallone's promo shoot. I'm just here for the truck. I love you, Dad. I don't know why I tacked that note on at the end of it, but I felt like I needed to.
I just need a truck.
Oh, I'm 100% serious. I can't think of a more clear good guy in the history of movies than Lincoln Hawk.
Yeah.
Superman? No, fuck that shit. Lincoln Hawk was a P.S. Lincoln Hawk is maybe the most baller name ever in history. But Lincoln Hawk was the goodest good guy of all time in movie history. He was super handsome. He's like ripped. Like truckers can't be ripped like that. I don't know.
Oh no.
But we get Chris Christopherson with his beautiful baby blue eyes, and Kurt Russell with his tank top and his lovely charm, and Stallone with just, I don't even know where I'm going with this. Holy shit.
Arm wrestling stuff.
Okay. So I had watched this movie once before when I was a kid, and I feel like I remembered somebody drinking motor oil.
Yes.
Okay. I missed it.
Oh.
Like I must have been typing while a guy drank the motor oil, because doesn't he later like crack some Alka-Seltzer tablets?
Yes.
Yeah.
So like Alka-Seltzer was definitely a corporate sponsor on this movie. Like there were people wearing Alka-Seltzer t-shirts.
Yeah.
Like come on. Like okay.
The black guy was wearing a Alka-Seltzer t-shirt, and then he changed into a Budweiser t-shirt later in the competition.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like this movie had corporate sponsors, and that's hilarious.
Hardcore.
The last note was just, dude, Stallone's crazy eyes ain't nothing to fuck with. Like when Stallone goes Satan mode, there is literally nothing that can stop his arm from going down. Like literally nothing on the planet that can make his arm not go over the top. Okay, so those are my notes. But what I'm gonna say about this movie is Stallone's performance was good.
Yeah.
I thought
He certainly did the best with what he had.
Yeah, oh yeah. And P.S. what he had, I think we may have touched on this in the Rocky episode. But and okay, so he didn't put it on Front Street in this movie. But maybe Stallone's best quality is how good of a screenwriter he is, because he really is a good writer.
Yep.
Like he really is. Like this is not up for debate. Stallone is a great writer. He's probably a better writer than he is an actor or a workout person, because because the best work he's done is writing.
Yeah.
And okay, so this movie was cheesy. Everything about it was telegraphed. Even, so like the grandfather like shows up at the arm wrestling competition later, ready to like take his son back or take his grandson back, and he sees how good Stallone is at arm wrestling. He's like, nah.
Yeah, that is such an 80s thing, and I love that.
Yeah.
Where like bad guys can be defeated by just being really good at something.
Right. Like he was like, okay, I guess, so I can see how well you and your son are bonding at this whole arm wrestling thing. So like, I'm done being a bad guy now.
Nope.
Yeah, it was great. So I watched this movie and I absolutely loved it. I also definitely watched 2 episodes of Cheers last night. And loved that. Cheers is great, guys. I'm going to keep talking about Cheers until it's not great, which means I'm going to probably keep talking about Cheers forever. Or at least until Kirstie Alley shows up, which isn't for a while. I would recommend watching this movie just because it is obviously so cheesy 80s. It doesn't have a good soundtrack, I don't think, or at least I didn't remember anything about the soundtrack at all. If it was bad, it wasn't like take me out of the movie bad, but there was nothing memorable about the music that you hear during this, except that I'm just going to call him Daniel San because I don't remember the son in this movie, what his actual name is, when they're trying to switch the radio on and off. That's a very silly scene. We shouldn't be listening to the radio right now, sir. I don't think it's appropriate to be listening to this this 80s pop song, sir.
Mhm.
I don't know. Yeah, the son can be pretty insufferable, but you get it because dad is just like showing up into his life, 12 years in. Okay, so did they ever get into why Stallone and his wife separated?
I think it was
Because they
like
were
this
still
was
married.
the only little bit that was actually like subtle in the movie. It
Yeah.
was that the grandfather kept on
I think
fucking poking his nose into shit.
Okay.
And he was just like, fuck this, I can't, I'll never be able to prove myself to this guy. Maybe he's right. She deserves somebody better, so I'm just gonna fucking bolt.
So anyway, listeners, you know where I'm coming from. Other John Ace Movies friends, you know where I'm coming from. I really like this movie, and I think you should watch it. That's my take.
Yeah.
All right.
So James, how about you?
After listening to Eric's review, I understand what it's like when other people watch me eat cottage cheese. Because I fucking love cottage cheese. And it's really rare that somebody else shares that passion.
I like cottage cheese.
Fuck
but
you,
now that
James.
you've said that, I'm not sure I'm comfortable anymore.
I love cottage cheese, but we're not reviewing cottage cheese. So James,
Do you like pointless arm wrestling? Do you like really sappy music? Do you love insufferable children that are super sweaty for no reason?
Yes.
Then you will love this movie. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this movie was ridiculous. I watched a
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. So everything Chris said was right, and anything you can say is probably going to be right. Like, I don't,
we all
whatever.
take different things,
Right. Yeah.
So, like, I watched a documentary called Electric Boogaloo that's on Netflix. It's about the Canon movie group. And the funny thing about Canon is, like, they were pretty much like a B-movie house that would just... They had this really fucking...
oh, is this a canon movie?
Yes.
That explains so much.
I don't know what that is.
All right. So,
Masters of the Universe.
yeah, Canon was this movie house that would pretty much make B-movies, and they had this really weird way of working their business. They were pretty much a production house. They would just buy rights to things. They wouldn't write scripts. They would pay writers to write scripts for basic ideas that they had.
Mm-hmm. It
And
sounds
they
like
would-
Trauma, kind of.
Yes,
So-
but they would work on volume
Little bit
alone.
More quality.
Yeah.
Well, it's not hard to be a little bit more quality than Trauma.
Like I said, the director of this movie, I said he's Israeli. He was like the main guy of Canon.
Okay.
So he fancied himself a director, even though he was not. But the thing is that, like I said, they worked on volume, so they managed a hit out of like no reason why they should have got this hit, but it kept them going for about 15 years.
Yeah.
What was
When-
the hit?
Breakin'.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
Breakin',
Breakin'
yep.
Electric Boot.
The first one.
Yeah, the first.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. So the first one, Breakin', was this massive hit, and it was like made for like 2 dimes in a bottle cap.
Mhm.
So they were like, well, crap, we can make good movies, so let's just, buy up all these rights and make all the crap that we can. And this was one of them. Masters of the Universe was another one.
Several sequels to franchises that have already gone
Superman
off the rails.
Okay.
Superman 4. What else?
Supergirl, I think?
The Charles Bronson one.
Oh, yeah, Death Wish.
Death Wish.
Death Wish.
But not Death
the
Wish 1, but like Death Wish 3.
4
Yeah.
and 5.
Yes.
Yep.
They were just ridiculous. And this movie pretty much shows it. That's why it's like really got the paint by numbers thing. But my god, the music in this thing was so goddamn sappy throughout the entirety of it. Like, this movie doesn't really become like a brofist movie until like the third act. Like,
Yes.
like
the
probably
end
even
of the third act.
yeah, the second half of the third
Yes.
act.
Yeah. The last 15 minutes
Yep.
of this movie, it becomes a bro movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Up until that, it's like incredibly just really sappy Kenny Loggins. Not even the good shit. Not stand up and fight, the miracle. There's nothing like even that kind of rocking at all. It's all playing with them boys, But
It's all to Messina and not
Yeah.
Loggins. Hey, Jimmy Messina.
oh man, I was just like singing along every time. Like anytime there was like a music, there was a lot of needle drops in it too. So anytime there was a needle drop, I would just sing along, like made up lyrics and stuff. It's like, when you're a man and you've got a truck and you're staring out at the horizon. You're saving your kid by arm wrestling dudes. Yeah, you got the biggest arms.
It's simply the truck.
James, can we get a recording of that?
Yeah, I think that out of all the movies, this one deserves a song.
Okay, good.
And it's got to have the line "over the top" shoved in it, even when it doesn't need to be in there, because there are 3 songs on the soundtrack that specifically say "over the top."
Over the top.
Oh my God.
Yep, that's very important.
Yeah, that was like, yeah, that was super heavy-handed. I mean, obviously.
Heavy-handed.
Yeah. I read the Wikipedia about this afterwards. Actually, I read
John.
the Wikipedia because I wanted to figure out who did the credits theme, because it sounded like the lead singer from Journey, but it's not.
Right.
Nonetheless, I found out that they actually had somebody else write and record the theme during the tournament, but when they recorded it, they thought it sounded too soft, so they hired Sammy Hagar to re-record it.
Wow.
Yeah, and honestly, like, that song's fucking good. But the funny thing was, they recorded a music video with Sylvester Stallone and Sammy Hagar.
Nice.
For that, yeah.
Ooh, nice.
And both of them were like Sammy's like, yeah, the song's no good. And Stallone was like, yeah, the movie was really good. I really didn't even want to do the music video. But Stallone gave him his cap at the end. They both signed it and sold it for charity, and I believe it went for $10,000.
Wow.
Those are 2 of the most important figures of the 80s.
Yeah, basically.
So a cap with those 2 signatures on it is, I mean, priceless, really.
Well, and say what you will about Over the Top, and I'm not going to take away from your review, James. I know you got more to say, but say what you will about Over the Top, regardless of how we may feel about it and its production value, it does hold a place in this era of films like these.
This movie is like, out of all the 80s action movies we watched, this one I think is the most of a time capsule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it really does a great job of capturing all the worst parts of the 80s. Well, I should say, like, it is like a spectrum, because you got the really cheesy, like, you got the rich person with no class. And that is what the rich people with no class fucking looked like in the 80s. And you got all the fat moms at the opening scene where they're picking up their kids with those huge ass glasses and the big hair.
Yeah, but they're all like scandalized that Stallone shows up in jeans.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
know,
come
that's
on.
not a thing anymore. That's not being a thing in the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once jeans started running $900.
Yeah, people only get scandalized by jorts now.
Oh, did you recognize one of those moms?
No.
Do you know who it was?
No. Oh, yes, I do. Fuck you.
Very close.
Wow.
Dude, the power is strong with you, Grasshopper. I thought I had you.
I had that like dangling in the back of my mind for like the past 3 podcasts. I was like, we're back after a long hiatus. Nobody's thinking about it.
Except someone was posting on the page just
I know. After she posted, I'm like, you woman, lady, fan of ours,
Rebecca Holmes.
you fan of ours who I love, you are putting this stuff in the forefront of people's minds. You are ruining weeks of planning.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Somebody else mentioned that.
Yeah, I bet they did.
I thought I could get in with the subtle double dip, you know? Like, oh, John never does that.
Oh man.
Rebecca Holmes, shout out. I have, since we read your blog last week, I have gone back and read it again. I read your updates, and they're good. You're a good writer. Keep it up.
Sweet. Yep. All right, so I love 80s movie villains, the big tough guys, because everything that they say, everything that they do comes off as super gay now. It's like I would want one.
Dude, yes.
I want one 80s guy with like a huge mustache, tons of muscles, and be like, I'm Robo McPlatonica, and nothing I say can be misconstrued as sexual innuendo. Like,
That's a
yes.
but no, all of them. You got like the super hairy guy. You got fat Nick Frost with the mustache, or I mean, muscly Nick Frost with muscles. The real life incarnation of Bald Bull from Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Oh man! So the thing is that the guy Cannon who started Cannon directed this movie. He thought himself a genius, and he was like, "Oh, this is going to be as big as Rocky. There'll be kids all over the U.S. Arm wrestling after this movie comes out. It's going to be a big deal." And as one of the writers pointed out, he's like, "Dude, there's nothing you could really do with arm wrestling. I mean, as like an action motif, it's like 5-10 seconds of tension, and then you're done.
Yes.
It's either up or down, and that's it. And then with the I mean, I have to admit, some of the arm wrestling scenes got me in. I was like, oh man, cool, but it does lose its flavor. And at the end, where they have that one that lasts about 5 minutes, you realize why you can't stretch it out because it just gets hilarious.
So, the move that they did in this movie to make arm wrestling seem cooler is, when they would get somebody's arm down, they would, slam it 3 times. Bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
What? Or, Stallone, when he would get somebody's arm down, it would be almost all the way down. Then he would pull it back to halfway and then whack! Slam it down. That's not what you do in arm wrestling. There's, you don't gain momentum.
No. Muscle.
Right.
Yeah. That was ridiculous. They even did it at the end, which I thought was a little too much. But all right. So the movie definitely has a tone. Well, the movie definitely has a tone that it kind of sticks with for most of it, which is sappy, lame, boring.
Dad.
No, Eric, you're right. This movie, I would say, was crushing it. And by that, I mean, when you watch it, it makes you want to play Candy Crush on your phone.
That's no good.
But no, and then the competition keeps going off. And how many times does the fucking announcer have to remind us there's this double elimination competition?
Right
I'm
now.
a fucking idiot. You just say best 2 out of 3. We're fucking done. That's it. I mean, maybe, I don't know, whatever. Just say it once. Who gives a shit?
They had to say it over and over again so you knew, when Stallone lost the first time, it's not all over him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Although, I'm a little confused about the whole double elimination thing, but I'll get to that.
Yeah. There was a few things in this movie that didn't really make sense. Not less Harry dude drinking a bunch of motor oil.
Yeah.
Which would have fucking killed him if not, made him leave the fight in the middle of it. He's straight in and he's got a belly full of motor oil. There's no way he gets out clean.
No. No, he's got to make a trip to the bathroom.
Sooner rather than later.
I love, after that point, I loved the movie because for whatever reason, we start having reality TV show one-on-ones with the camera. And
Confessionals.
Confessionals.
That was well before that was even a thing, too.
And it was out of left field.
Right.
There was no reason for them to do
they
that.
didn't set it up at all.
No. All of a sudden, we're getting the athletes' thoughts on these things.
And they didn't change the camera view where they put make it look like it's got frame stuff on the camera to make it,
they're actually talking to a reporter like they do in Rocky.
Yeah.
A good movie. Well, anyway, they do that, and I get the real impression that they're actually talking to real arm wrestler guys. Because I know that Canada did everything on the cheap, so I'm pretty sure that they actually did this during the real World Arm Wrestling competition.
It's possible.
Pretty possible, but nonetheless, it just seemed... Nothing drove it home than when the other people were talking and then Stallone started talking. Because as soon as it put I was like, they're not going to cut to Stallone, are they? Are they actually going to cut to Stallone? As soon as they did, I'm instantly, he was no longer Ethan Hawke or whatever.
Lincoln Hawk.
He was Stallone. He was an actor.
Yeah.
I'm like, this guy's an actor. Why is he doing? And out of all the takes, they choose. For me, it's all about the truck. you know, because of stumbles, literally stumbles. I just need a truck.
I mean, they just wanted to make it seem like he wasn't being actor man in that scene. But yeah.
No, like nothing made me realize that he was an actor more than those scenes.
Yeah.
But I do love the thing about flipping his. You know, I flip my cap backwards. It's just like an off and on switch. You know, I feel like a truck,
right? like a truck, like a machine.
Oh.
I knew as soon as that one guy, man, he was like, "This is the fire plug." I'm like, "Oh man, you're sticking that somewhere." It's all about breathing, right? Oh man. So he goes up and talks to the grandfather again the second time. The grandfather has already given him a shit ton of money. And now he's offering him a shit ton more money and a truck. Why? He's already signed over his rights. Legally, there's nothing Stallone can do. I don't...
Yeah, but I think at that point he was trying to bargain for Stallone to push back on the kid.
Yeah.
Which Stallone wasn't going to do.
Yeah.
Because Stallone's a good guy.
I see. Because at that point, Stallone had no idea his kid was missing.
Yes.
As far as he knows,
Well,
this
no
guy
one
just
told
shows
him.
up and is like, "Hey, I want you to leave town." He's like, "Well, fuck, I'm in Vegas." You live in California, I'm in Vegas. Yeah, like what? And then when he goes and he bets, and he was like, "Yo, what's the odds on Lincoln Hawk? 20-1." If that were me, I'd be like, "Well, what the fuck am I doing here? 20-1."
They didn't know him. They didn't know how hard his arm was.
More importantly, they didn't know how big his heart was.
Oh no! Oh no!
Yes, Johnny.
No, man, he had a name for himself.
Bet on yourself. You're gonna get nothing out of life if you don't just bet on yourself and go for it. And that's what Lincoln Hawk did, and he won, and he got his son back. He got a truck. He got a fucking rig. Hawk and son, and he was the best arm wrestler of all time.
What?
Woo!
Okay. 7,001 times 20. How much is that?
That's 140,000.
Yep.
Not bad. But
No.
still, 20
It's
to
enough
1.
to start a company
Jesus
in the
Christ.
80s.
It's enough to start a trucking company.
Yeah.
It
Back
is.
in $80s? Oh, fuck yeah. Like, you could start a trucking company on 2 dimes and a bottle cap. But
I mean, you need the truck. That's the
Yes.
important part. You can start a trucking company if you have a truck.
yeah, that was the other thing I was thinking when he sold his truck. I'm just like, you can actually make a lot of money if you just have a truck.
Uh-huh.
Like, that's a trucker's dream.
Yes.
Is to just own a truck.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if they own their own truck, yeah. But
But he bet on himself.
and his arms. Oh man.
Ain't nobody gonna give you nothing.
You gotta take
You
it.
gotta take it.
Yeah. Johnny
World
gets
doesn't
it.
meet you halfway.
Johnny gets it. I don't even care if John liked the movie or not. He gets it.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I don't know. Like I said, didn't like most of the movie. Really liked the end. It was hilarious and fun, but yeah, I could use more of the end throughout the movie. But oh my god, ridiculous! The movie was
All
ridiculous. Yep, I think
Well,
that's it.
Good, because let me bring us home here. There are a couple of things about this movie that I like, and there are a couple of things that really took me out of this movie. And really, honestly, I can't justifiably recommend that people seek this movie out.
Yeah.
I do get it, but I get it inside, and I don't think it needs to really be out there. Because there's some stuff about this. First off, the soundtrack is absolutely awful. I mean, God.
I wasn't paying attention. I was too busy thinking about my dad.
And more importantly, it was also completely inappropriate.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There is a couple of times where it's Sylvester and the kid, and the way the music plays really kind of makes those scenes that should be very endearing kind of creepy.
Yeah, you can sleep on my shoulder if you want.
Yeah,
but
and,
then-
Yeah,
and
don't
then
make it
romantic
weird.
sax music is playing in the background within some.
But
yeah,
then they wake up in the
no.
morning and Stallone's sleeping on his shoulder. Like, I don't know. That's some
Yeah,
touching
it's very.
shit.
It's very touching.
Yeah.
But with the music, no, the music in that scene and the following scene where they're exercising, listen to it. And if you have no context, then you would honestly think that this would be like kind of one of those boy love scenarios.
Brought to you by Nambla.
Yeah, exactly. So that's not great. And on top of it, the sports event itself is very underwhelming and doesn't make much sense.
arm wrestling.
I know. But it doesn't make much sense because the guy that Stallone goes up against, if it's double elimination and you need to get knocked out twice to lose, the guy won all the way up to it. So why did Stallone not have to fight him again immediately afterwards?
Question
Is beyond me. So the plot's a little weak. The villain's motivations are not really great.
Nope.
The mom had the sickness and died on the operating table because she was getting an operation for the sickness.
No, it was her heart. Yeah, it was her heart. She had a bad heart. She had a bad ticker.
Apparently, all her father's money couldn't buy her a new heart.
She was the only part of this movie that didn't have heart.
I must have missed that.
Her father should have met with Dick Cheney. I heard he's had 6.
Probably has one in storage.
Another thing, I mean, and this is a small thing, but it just kind of created a bit of cognitive dissonance. I watch this with subtitles because every once in a while I have to turn on subtitles because the world doesn't stop around me when I'm watching movies, so there will always be some sort of ambient noise or something going on. And so it's become like a native state of mine. And I begin to notice that when subtitles don't match up with the dialogue, it really pulls me out of the experience.
Yeah.
And this movie is egregious because while they didn't really super care about the production quality of this movie, the person who subtitled this, one, does not like profanity because he edits it all out.
That's amazing.
Yes. And then two, he also either doesn't know how to spell or he just doesn't really fucking care at all.
That
because
is amazing.
There are so many misspellings in the subtitles of this. So don't watch this movie.
That makes me want to watch this movie.
Doubly don't watch this movie if you're hearing impaired.
If you're hearing impaired, thank you for listening to Johnny.
Hey, we're in, what is that, TDD or...
What?
I'm sorry, that joke failed. God, I feel like my brother sometimes.
Whoa!
Hey, all my jokes land.
Hey.
On their face.
So, yeah.
All of James's jokes land like Chris Columbus on Cuba.
Continent of India.
Right.
Right on there.
Yeah.
I mean, there is I can think of one reason to watch this. If you haven't seen it and you feel that you really are missing out on the 80s, that you don't quite get the 80s, this movie will take you to that place.
Yeah.
And it will leave you there. And you'll have to deal with that. But you'll have to deal with that on your own time. So, yes. Over the top. Not a recommended watch, but it does have a lot of heart. And that usually is enough to win me over, but not this time.
Yeah.
Not this time.
It had heart, but no charm, eh, Johnny?
Yeah, I gotta say that. That's probably what it was. It had a lot of heart, but literally no charm.
Yep.
So, with that being said, before we move on to everybody's favorite part and mine,
with that being said, watch this movie. They're all wrong. They're idiots. If your dad was a trucker, you'll love it.
Absolutely. If your name is Eric Largent,
right,
you will love this movie.
Call your dad.
So,
arm wrestle him.
Yes.
He'll win.
And
that's exactly what you want.
I have a special request for our listeners. At some point, I want to review a Bollywood movie on this podcast, but I know absolutely nothing about Bollywood.
Samesies.
So if anyone who's ever listened to us has ever watched a Bollywood movie and has found one that they really enjoy, please give us that suggestion on the Facebook page, because I really want to try and watch a Bollywood movie.
Doom 2!
Or was it the Cybernator? Or that was even better.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
yeah,
it sounds like some of our cast
Robot?
Some of our cast members might have some ideas.
Does Temple of Doom
No.
count as a Bollywood movie?
Absolutely not. No time
No, I
for
just
love,
remember-
Dr. Jones.
One time me and Chris got suckered in by a Bollywood trailer.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Well,
And
some
we
of the
watched the
trailers I've
Bollywood
seen
movie.
have been pretty awesome. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. Some of them, because their concept of action is disbelief in physics. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I've actually caught a couple, Bollywood action movies. They are kind of funny.
Yeah.
Mhm.
For that, if you can, stomach the wait, they're singing and dancing now.
Mhm.
I can totally stomach that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we will be right back. And we'll be back with a game.
All right, okay, well, let's... I have one more thing to add to my review that I forgot. So, the music in the beginning of the music, forget it. I hated the fucking Casio trumpets.
Yes.
Like, do you remember that?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm a trumpet player. There are a lot of trumpet players out there. I will tell you this. We will play for cheap. If you're recording in the 80s and you need to get a trumpet player, just fucking put an ad on Craigslist, or they didn't have Craigslist, so stomp something on a pole.
Call up your local ska band.
Call up your local ska band. Madness has about 5 extra trumpet players. You can feed them donuts and they'll happily lay down a track for you. And you can lay down like 7 tracks and it'll sound like 20 trumpet players. So you don't have to have that shitty ass Casio keyboard that sounds like fucking garbage in your cheesy ass fucking Kenny Loggins song.
A PSA for all our time travelers out there. Good job, James.
Learn to play the trumpet.
We'll be right back.
Tally-ho, John Hates Movies listeners, it's Eric Largent with a quick reminder of how you can find us. The best way to stay appraised of all of our activity is to follow us on Facebook at John Hates Movies. There we'll post all of our new episodes, as well as whatever we're feeling interested in at the moment. Please subscribe to us on your favorite podcast service, like iTunes, Stitcher, or Podcast and Radio Addict. If you subscribe to us on iTunes, please leave us a comment. We read every single one, and they're much appreciated. You can also follow us on Twitter at John Hates Movies, or follow me on Twitter at Eric Largent. Now, stay tuned for the game and find out what movie we get to watch next week. And if you're feeling adventurous, watch along with us and leave us a comment on Facebook telling us what you thought of the movie. Thank you for listening, and stay tuned for the game.
And we're back. That's right, it is now time for everybody's favorite part, and mine. It is time for the game. Yes.
Slow motion.
Oh, there was so much slow motion.
I mean, that's how you can get 5 minutes out of an arm wrestling scene, is it has to be slow motion.
Slow motion, shaky jowls.
Right.
How do you get that on mic?
So, as is John Hates Movies tradition, the person who picked the movie runs the game, and that means Chris has something very special in store for us.
So for the game this week, what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you a quote from an action movie, and what I'd like for you to do is to tell me the actor. You can give me the character if you want. If you can give me the movie if you want, you'll get no points for them.
We have
Just-
to know
just-
the character.
No, the
The
actor.
actor. Okay.
The actor.
Right,
Okay.
because let's face it, remembering characters from some stuff, I mean,
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
All right, so we have J-A, J-O, and Eric. I'll even give you the R.
Oh, thank you.
Jajo.
Jajor. All right, so your names are going to be your buzzers,
Okay.
as is, the cliche.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll start right now with, you want a war? I'll give you a war you wouldn't believe.
Eric.
Go ahead.
Steven Seagal.
No.
I'm going to take you to the bank, Senator Trent. To the blood bank. Dun, 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 dun.
John.
1 second, John. Eric gets a point because that was on my list.
Oh,
Damn it! I love that line.
I fucking love that line. That's the best
Damn.
line in movie history.
Go ahead, John.
I was just gonna guess. Harrison Ford?
No.
Damn it.
James.
Go ahead.
Fred Savage.
What?
War Games.
What?
War
No. No.
Okay.
And Fred Savage wasn't in War Games.
Maybe if I said, you want a war? I'll give you a war you wouldn't believe. Sylvester Stallone, First Blood.
Oh.
They drew-
Oh, this one. Sorry.
I can't do it.
First piss.
Yeah, I can't do a Stallone impression, so I'm not going to try.
Ah,
All right,
how did I not know that one?
moving on. You want to be a farmer? Here's a couple of acres.
Oh,
Ah!
James.
Go ahead.
Patrick Swayze.
No.
Oh, God damn it. I know I've heard this before.
I know I have to.
You guys have, and you'll be sad when you figure it out if you don't guess correctly.
No, okay, I think I know who it is now, and I know what it's from, but I already went, so unless I can try again.
Well, if John or Eric can't, I'll let you try again.
I don't know it at
Eric,
all.
no. John?
Yeah, I don't have. It's on the tip of my
Go
tongue.
ahead, James.
Kurt Russell?
No.
Oh, shit. All right, nope.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, Last Action Hero.
God,
Oh,
I knew
yeah.
it. I kept, for some reason, I thought it was Jim Belushi from Red State.
Oh. Like I said, some of these will be obvious, some of these won't. You call that a knife? This is a knife.
John.
John, go ahead. Remember, actor.
Oh my God, I can't remember his name now.
James?
No, I'm not done. It's Paul Hogan.
Yes!
you bitch.
Oh, John. Paul
I knew
Hogan,
that
Crocodile
James.
Dundee.
Ah, that was a hard one.
You can't call him Crocodile Dundee. when he's
No, I
the
wanted to though. I almost called him Steve Irwin.
I probably would have given you a point for that.
Well, that a stingray. This is a stingray.
Too soon.
Barbecue, huh? How do you like your ribs?
Eric.
Go ahead.
Eddie Murphy.
Nope.
From fucking Wonder Golden Child. When he busted in on that.
John.
Go ahead.
Carl Weathers.
Yes.
Oh,
Carl
snap.
Weathers, Action Jackson.
That's right.
Oh,
Wow.
Get away from her, you bitch.
John.
John called in first, James, even though you made a lot of physical movements there. Go ahead.
I only
Sigourney Weaver.
Yep.
after
Sigourney Weaver
John,
in
like,
Aliens.
I knew who it was, but
Wait,
I
what was
didn't
the quote
think
again?
of the actor.
Get away from her, you bitch.
From Aliens.
Plural. Yeah.
Okay.
When she's
See, I've
in
never
the,
seen that one.
She's really.
It's
What?
really good.
I've never seen it.
Watch that.
It's an
one.
action movie. And
That's
it's
a
really
solid
good.
movie. All right, you already did. I'm going to take you to the bank, Senator Trent. To the blood bank, and Eric already got the point for that one.
Go.
All right, I ain't got time to bleed.
James.
James.
His name is fucking. God damn it! He was senator. No, he wasn't senator. He was governor. Governor. Fucking guy. Mr. Guy. Face. God damn it!
Eric calls in next.
John calls in next.
What?
Go ahead, Eric.
Jesse, the body Ventura.
Damn it!
From
God
Predator,
That's why I shouldn't buzz before the name clicks in my head.
right? Sully, you know how I said I'd kill you last? I lied.
James.
Oh, go ahead.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Fuck.
Yes.
Finally
from
got one.
Commando.
Yeah.
Sorry. Again, some of these might be a little bit more obvious. I have come here to chew bubblegum
John.
and kick. Go ahead, John.
Roddy Piper.
Patron saint of John Hates movies.
That's
From
right.
They Live. Hasta la vista, baby.
John.
Go ahead, John.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
There we go.
Wow. John, you're leading 5.
Oh, yeah.
I've
5.
got 2. James has 1.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right. I am the law.
John.
James.
Sylvester Stallone.
Hey, I was first.
James needs this.
Come on. I
All
never win.
Getting too old for this shit.
John.
John.
Daniel Glover.
Yep.
Wow.
Lethal Weapon. Say hello to my little friend.
John.
Eric.
Al Pacino.
Damn right.
Al Pacino.
Al Pacino, Scarface.
Damn.
You're a disease and I'm the cure.
John.
Go ahead.
Wesley Snipes.
Nope.
Damn it.
Eric.
Eric.
My guy, that I already mentioned, Steven Seagal.
No.
James.
Go ahead.
Charles Bronson.
No. Sylvester Stallone.
Ah.
Cobra, another canon
oh.
film. Dead or Alive, You're Coming With Me.
John.
James. That was like equal.
Go ahead, James, since I know you know it.
Peter Weller.
Fuck.
Yep. RoboCop.
Yep.
Come on.
John 6, Eric 3, James 3.
Yep.
Still leading, John.
Consider That a Divorce.
Oh, Eric.
Go ahead.
Schwarzenegger.
Yep.
God
Consider that a
damn
divorce.
it.
Yep. Total Recall. Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
John.
John, go ahead.
Bruce Willis.
Yep.
Yeah.
Die Hard. And I had this one as a, this will be hard as fuck to get, in case of tiebreaker, but I'm going to play it anyway. Fill your hands, you son of a bitch.
James.
Notice I didn't say 80s
Right.
action.
You said
I just said
James.
action. Yeah, James, go ahead.
Kurt Russell.
No.
Eric.
The clue was this is not an 80s action movie.
Eric.
Go ahead.
Clint Eastwood.
No, but you're close.
Yeah, I know the movie.
Yeah.
John.
Go ahead.
John Wayne.
Yep. True Grit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm.
Fill your hands, you son of a bit, right as he rides towards him. Sorry, I just had to include that. 'Cause,
Yeah.
fucking sweet line, man.
It is a great line.
So we have ended the game. James, you have 3.
Ah,
Congratulations.
man, I did really
Eric,
bad.
you have 4.
That's way better than I thought I was
That's
going to do.
pretty damn good. And John, you got fucking 8.
Yeah.
Wow.
Apparently we found my niche.
Action quotes.
Pretty fucking good.
Yeah. So, yes, I do love my action movies. And this, I know that we're probably going to get accused of being doing an unofficial Brovember this month, but I'm going to slide off the scale just a little bit here because I've been eyeballing this and I need to give myself a reason to watch it. So next week we are watching Turbo Kid.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
I have heard about this, but I've not seen it.
It was,
I've seen
it
it.
was always on a we might do it.
Yeah.
Have you seen it, James?
No, I actually haven't seen
I'm
it
the
yet.
only one that's seen it.
Yeah.
All
Well,
righty.
there we go.
So we are watching Turbo Kid.
So, like, is it like a normal kid, but he's got turbo or
This
something?
movie, the best way to explain it is it's post-apocalyptic in the vein of 80s post-apocalyptic BMX Bandits.
Yes. It looks very radical.
It's going to be, incredibly radical. It's you'll enjoy it no matter what because you'll pick up on the cliches, but it's good. I enjoyed it. We'll decide next week.
Yes. We'll officially decide on Turbo Kid. That's right. You heard it here first. Turbo Kid next week.
Nice.
It's like
Good
James,
night. James, did you have something to say?
I was gonna say it's like James Bond Jr., where except it's Mad Max Jr., where he's not actually Mad Max's kid, but Mad Max's nephew.
Good night, everybody. A great big thank you to our staff graphic artist, Tabby Walters, the Weekly Cast, and our listeners. You can listen to our podcast on iTunes, the Stitcher app, through YouTube, or directly on our website. Feel free to send us a movie review suggestion. Every third episode is Listener Appreciation, where we choose from your suggestions. You can reach us through social media, either by liking our Facebook page, John Hates Movies YouTube channel, or following our Twitter at John Hates Movies. Our music was composed by Kevin MacLeod. You can find this track and many more on his website, Incompetech.com. Thanks for listening, and tune in next week to hear someone say...
Welcome to the Hot Sauce Committee Podcast. All hot sauce, all night long.
Hey there, John Hates Movies listeners. It is the Hot Sauce Committee Podcast, live from Hot Sauce Studios, aka my spare bedroom. You can see the lovely the lovely mattress I have up against the wall. You can see my boy Chris.
It's for vertical sleeping. Wait.
Here, I'm going to...
Yeah, vertical.
Oh,
Yeah!
there's James.
Woo!
Yeah. What's up,
Ooh,
kids?
thumbs up, motherfucker! We got a thumbs up.
Yeah, from our producer, who's
Is he liking our own page?
Yeah. All right, so this is the Hot Sauce Committee Podcast. You can listen to this at the end of every John Hates Movies episode, or maybe at least the next few that we're doing going forward, where we review a hot sauce. This week, James brought the hot sauce. James, what do we have this week?
We have got Bliss Blast.
Nice.
It'll not burn your ass. So, I don't know. I got to make that joke. Bliss Blast, I'm taking a bath in this because it's delicious. It's
that
from,
would hurt.
Yeah, that would hurt. All right, this is
Your
from
anus
Founders.
and testicle area.
Yep.
Testicular area.
So it's a Michigan hot sauce by a brewer who first brewed beer and now makes brew and
A brewer who brew beer.
Yeah. All right. Fine. Whatever the fuck. A brewery.
There you go.
They started with beer. Now they do beer and whiskey and also hot sauce and maple syrup.
And maple syrup. Founders.
All right.
Alright, so let's give this thing a try, right?
It's dead to me.
It's a little secret. We
Nice.
already gave this a try.
Nice smell. Nice smoky smell. You guys can get your own chips because fuck you.
Oh no.
Oh, yeah. Liquid viscosity. It's staying on the chip.
All right. So full disclosure, listeners and watchers, we have already reviewed this once, but it didn't work. Oh shit! We just got a comment from Jeff. Let me chug.
So,
Jeff, this gin and tonic goes out to you.
the hot sauce is a nice, sweet start.
Yep.
And it gives you a nice bite. And as soon as you think it's going to hurt, it doesn't. It's like a kind, friendly, gentle lover. Where it brings you just to that precipice of pain without making you use a safe word.
Cabbage. Like I said, a bunch of our shit broke and my mic was off last time, so we've already tasted this. I really like it.
I like it. I like it a lot, but it basically is A1 steak sauce that has a little bit of a spiciness to it.
Which is very good,
Yes.
but it's not as hot saucy as we would like.
Like I taste no like vinegar notes, and there's like on the is it spicy or not scale, it's like a 2. Like there's a tiny little bit of spice to it, but not very much at all. Both of the Gringo Bandito sauces that we reviewed last week were considerably spicier than this.
The Scoville scale. This is probably 2 on a Scoville scale.
So, guys, how many Johns out of 3 would you give this?
Out of 3?
Out of 5.
I mean, out of 5.
Sorry.
Someone's giving.
Right, I know.
Okay, so I will give it. I'll give it 4.5 Johns out of 5. Not because I think it can't be 5. I think just because we haven't hit the pinnacle of hot sauce yet, and I want to leave that open.
Yeah, I'm definitely giving it a. I don't know. I don't normally give John ratings, but it's a recommended buy because it's fucking delicious.
And I'm going to give it a 3 because I'm looking for more spice out of my hot sauce. And if you're looking for spice from your hot sauce, okay, here's a good question. What would this be good on?
Oh yeah, that's a good question. Fucking ribs.
Okay, yeah.
Well, as usual, crispy chicken. When isn't hot sauce delicious on crispy chicken?
Like this is very much a I feel like this is like a red meat hot sauce, not a chicken.
Well, it's because you're tasting that A1. You just want a steak now. Not saying that's not the case, but
that is completely
you could buy bottom round, slather it in this, forget
Ooh.
that you have a cheap piece of shit steak, and enjoy.
Oh yeah, Salisbury.
Nah.
No. Swiss steak.
Swiss steak. There you go.
Yeah.
With John ratings, it should be less Johns when something is better. Thank you, Jeff. And thank you for watching. I think maybe that you and John are the only people that are watching live right now. So shout out.
Yeah.
Any hints on what we're going to try next week? Maybe we could try this Tapatio. Or
La Preferida.
La Preferida. It's the preferred hot sauce.
This one's pretty.
Preferred hot sauce of Mexican corner stores, which is where I got this.
This one's literally just named after the peppers in it.
That's quality then.
They don't fuck around.
Yes, what would that hot sauce be good on? My balls when I need to be punished.
Well, okay now. So, yeah. So stay smoky.
I ruined everything.
Push the button. Push the button.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, guys, and watching. But we're done.
Until next week, we're bringing the hotness.